XRP community is now slowly forgetting the XRP army tag. As BTC hits new all-time highs, many are jumping out into that one. And for some other assets which rallied 250% recently. But remember, these assets will correct. Blockchain backer puts this one out, as he thinks that the allegations against Ripple and the company is strong. So now this is his perspective. Now I'll completely respect what he thinks, but I'll say what I think. This is the tweet put out by Val, which shows a positive direction. I will say what I think is happening with my investment thesis. Say, as Val says this, and it is being bullish on XRP, right? Then you get to see this one from Wonka. And I kind of agree with this analysis here from Wonka. And now the question is, have the fundamentals of Ripple the company and XRP the asset changed? Always understand this. It happens in every market. Are you here for that short-term volatility? Or are you here for that long-term achievement? Now, when I say that, you should be looking at your investment confidently and asking yourselves the same question, right? Now, you have to ask yourself this. Because right now, it is that time for XRP holders to think. Averaging works best when the fundamental is still strong, but the price is low due to market sentiment. Now, do you think the market sentiment is creating this low price in XRP? Then that's an opportunity. Now, for me, I will actually explain what I feel as this, like the truth about this asset right now in this market conditions, and take you guys through what I think is happening with the price. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, when we look at what is coming out, it's not only the XRP case, Bitcoin going high and all, right? Central governments, global elites are preparing for a new financial system. This tweet, if you actually go through and read it, reviewing central bank policy in 2020 with Fed Watch. Now, you can actually read that. It gives you a general perspective of how the financial system works, because that is necessary when you look forward. This is a tweet from Lord Banter. He kind of, highlights they do own this. And if you own this, do understand what you own. If you look at that correction from Ripple to all these different companies, and in that presentation, when you see this, this is not us connecting the dots here. It's being presented there that these connections exist. And this one gives you a lot more value, right? It clearly shows you that there is a possibility that this is coming alive. Value that substitutes currency or funds. Digital era is coming. If you look at that 6, business engaged in the exchange of currency funds. So that's in subparagraph, by inserting or a business engaged in an exchange of currency or funds. So now again I will ask you, do you think the fundamental of Ripple the company and XRP the asset changed? At least for me, it doesn't look so. It's not only US, right? The world has 7 billion population, and you can't just look at US when UK, Japan, Singapore, Switzerland and others give you a clarity. The world will follow that. The new financial system, as we know, is going to enter soon. ISO 20022 is coming near, and US is not in that right now. There are Western countries which will be getting into it, but as of now, they haven't. So that means a financial change. And at the same time, when you look at different ideas about the financial system, you kind of get this clearly. Now, at the same time, for retail investors, these are some pain points. Exchanges, delisting, halting. Now, when you look at this, in the 7 exchange, it is showing, say, Bittrex, right? But I just saw a tweet from Bittrex saying we are not halting XRP. And I was really confused. So, we are not delisting, we are not halting. This kind of confusion is still existing within the XRP community. Say Bittrex Global put this one out. Please note that Bittrex Global has no plans to delist XRP and will maintain all XRP markets. Now this comes from Bittrex Global. So you always have to double check. Go towards the Twitter handle and see. I think this is just a kind of confusion there, because status never puts wrong information. That's just some kind of confusion there. Now, when you go through this, there is a lot of different opinions coming out. These are positive. So in this aspect, if you are just looking at the negative side of this, say Coinbase is coming to halt this by Jan, others are going to do this by mid-Jan, you are only focusing on one geographical region where this asset is only traded towards 10%. Now, there are different kind of stuff which you have to understand. Grayscale dumped 9 million XRP on December 9th, right? Now it's December 31st here in South Korea. If you look at the price, there are different regions which you have to focus on. Say the price can actually do many things. One of which is reaching back towards its support level. Now, I will share you a chart showing what I think, which is an idea I received from one of my patron while going through the XRP charts. Previously, when we dropped from here towards the bottom, it kind of took around 270, 280 days to come towards 75%. Now, did we drop 75%? Yes, we did. But the time frame taken for that is huge. 270, 280 days. That's nearly a year, right? And here, after a 500% rally, we dropped 75, 76% in 35 days from that peak. Now ask yourself, you see similar drop here in 280 days and you see similar drop here in 35 days. Now come back here and look at this. Good or bad? News about any asset or a company often leads to what? Short-term volatility. So do you actually see a short-term volatility here, or common sense in market? It doesn't, right? Because as I say, common sense is not the common practice. We've been listening to this from centuries. But if you don't have that cognitive ability, it will become really hard for you here as an investor. Because when you look, yes, we broke the rising trend line support on a weekly. That's bearish. I agree. But recently I showed you the target of that break and we already reached that target. So unless we break below this, it's still a consolidative phase where we would be slowing down the bearish momentum and slowly turning that towards the upside. But that being said, when you look at the MACD at the top here, it's crossing to the downside. Yes, it is in a positive territory, but it is crossing to the downside. That means bears are still active. They have that intensity because RSI on a weekly is also pointing to the downside. So combining both, we can say that it may revisit the 0.165 low which it put recently. Now, even if it does that, it won't be a huge change in the market. But when majority are looking at the market and saying, I'm jumping out, I'm moving out, the strongest, tallest, we've seen this in last week or so, many are moving out. Many are changing their perspective. So for me, I know the following compared to all others are way less, but do understand we don't actually share conspiracy. Now, my thoughts, my conspiracies, I do let you know, but the basic thesis of investment, the books, sources, and other stuffs I give you guys. So, from those guys who are experienced in this market, not the crypto market, the investment market, because money, human psychology, I always says whichever market it is always same, just the range of volatility differs. Now here in this chart, say it's 4-hour chart of XRP, and at the bottom you can see a divergence with the price and RSI. Now the divergence in RSI is also supported by the MACD. So on a shorter term, what I see is if we break above, it's going to be a possibility that we would move to the upside. Say if you connect, my mouse is not actually working that cool. Okay, let's see what happened. Yeah, it's fine now. So if you look at this, if we are able to break above this area, which would be 0.235, 0.236 and close above that, then the moving average here will act as resistance. But once we break above that, we have room to the upside to move to up. So if you measure that in terms of percentage from here, which is the lowest top, that's still 35%. Now, yeah, you can argue 35% is nothing compared to the drop of 70%. But then I will argue like 30% rise and a correction of 75%. It's okay. If you consider in that perspective, it's nothing, right? We have done this in the past. We are doing this right now. Just the time taken for this is different. And when you compare the charts of XRP to another asset, you get similar idea. And I shared it here, right, for Ether. So when you look at this, 35 to 50% upside is there. Now, yes, if it breaks to the downside, again, 35 to 50% is there. Now, that is on the upside, but just to be corrected, say, if you are taking this in terms of percentage from the top to the bottom here, it would be 42%, and the second one should be around 30%. Yes. So now if you plot that back into that break lower, say you assume that the price is going to the downside and it's going to break to the downside, your downside would be around 30 to 50%. So that kind of takes you way back below 30 to 45%. So that kind of takes you way back below the low which we put in March, because that was, now in this chart it's actually showing 0.09, but yeah, 0.1, and we will go below that. Now I'll change that into a weekly for you guys to see if we break downside, that is bearish. Say you take a horizontal line and you just put it here, so that's 0.118, but you're going below that one. I personally think that the chances for that is like 5 to 10%, whereas 40 to 50%, I believe that this low is going to hold and the scenario will play out slowly. Now, yeah, different guys have different opinions, but based on charts, indicators, and what I see the price action is doing, I believe this is the scenario, because you get this on a daily, you get this RSI playing out on a daily. Then when you go into shorter time frames, you kind of get that there is something changing. Now, if you want to compare what I'm saying, you can just go into a daily chart of XRP and look at this pattern here. Okay, I'll just take out the MACD and look at the pattern here. Now, if you want to compare with another asset about the volatility perspective, you can just go into XLM. Now, what can you actually see in XLM? XRP had something similar here. On a daily, if you look 1, 2, third time it went lower. Now, if you look at that, it's like 1, 2, and the third time it may go lower towards its 200-day moving average or below that, right? So looking at XRP, you can say it went below the 200-day moving average. So for XLM, I'll say yes, we do have some bearish momentum here, and we highlighted that previously, didn't we? I showed you guys there is a trend forming like this, which is inside the accelerating channel, base channel, and it actually went into that acceleration mode and we hit this. I showed you this pattern previously, right? So the bottom should be near 0.09 if it is coming by this time frame, and it is near the 200-day moving average. So with that pattern, you get that fluctuation. Without the pattern, you're looking at the price action. So that gives you an investment idea for XRP or XLM when you see, say, institutions like Grayscale is dumping 9.8 million of XLM, 9 million XRP. You kind of get to see different stuff. Here for XRP, what you see is this. And for XLM, yeah, it has that downside there. But unless we break to the downside here, XRP is going to hold this level. Now that's on the technical side of things, right? When people see the BTC crypto going up and the market cap of entire crypto going up, we are being in the news and every different stuff, people will look at you. And then when you see again like huge influencers or inspirations in technical analysis, it's it gets confusing for a normal guy watching this thing and the positivity in the markets itself. Now, not in the price, but in the fundamentals. Because when we say fundamentals, you have to remember this is a recent document from World Economic Forum, which we highlighted previously. And when you come inside this, XRP is highlighted as Ripple's currency. Now, do understand this directly comes from Ripple, because Ripple is a part of WEF. But still, WEF editors agreed on this point. They accepted this and then published inside their report. It's not like Ripple is coming in and just putting there without the knowledge of World Economic Forum editors and those who are concerned for that, right? So these are valuable. When you actually understand that, that's when you kind of get the deal. When you see these kind of news, you'll also have to understand what others are doing in a large scale. Because when you look at XRP and SEC says it's a security, XLM would be same for them, right? When you look at majority of altcoins with that use case, it will be same for SEC, and they don't actually want to put that out, right? And when that comes, this market will also dip. When it dips, it's again dipping the entire altcoins. But you do have to understand there is something coming, and the possibility for that coming out is not zero. If there is a possibility, you should understand 90% people don't actually make 90% of profit. It's that 10 to 1% who makes the 90% profit. So should you think like them or should you think like the retail guys? It's completely up to you. The investment ideology is something like this. And that's why I always inform you guys. Short-term trading is risky. Yes, medium, long, everything is having its own risk. But the level of risk and the way you can manage those risks is different. Because when you have a lot of risk, it's hard to manage. When you have limited risk, it's easy to manage, because if you understand your risk tolerance properly and the asset on which you are understanding and the direction or the fundamental of this, when they call, say for example, in this one, it's showing, they talked about the aspects where in that document where Brad and Ripple, the company, Chris Larsen is dumping XRP, saying they are super long and dumping XRP. I would say that's an allegation there. And yeah, even if they sold some of their positions, which many of us do, say you have 100,000 XRP, won't you take profit at different points? Now, look at reports from BIS, IMF, central banks around the globe, and the Swiss. Say, for example, when you look at Switzerland, you get a lot of different partnership with Ripple. The exchange, Swiss exchange 6, and different stuff there in Europe, then in Asia. So while you look at different parts of the world, you get to know that this technology of a financial infrastructure is being utilized. It's being implemented. IMF or other institutions with that quality and grade will never put out a name of an asset or a company if they don't believe this is going to happen. But yes, in short term, this will fluctuate. Now, this is putting that into a easy common words, and this one is kind of showing you the same idea, but poor market sentiment means thinking like an investor. So Rigo, when he highlights that point, is thinking like an investor. So now the question is, are you thinking like an investor, or are you thinking about jumping away from your investment which already came back way below from its all-time highs? Now, to be precise on that point, you can actually go back to that all-time high, take that measurement tool again, and then come back to where we are right now, right? So we take it from the top and we bring our price measurement tool towards the actual bottom, and we look at what it is. It's 96%. So when we went back below here till this bottom, it was 97%. So from that point, it went up 530%. So if it is coming back towards that range, how much do you expect it will go up? Now, why am I saying that? Because when you look at this, you have to understand it in that medium term. It went down 75% in 280 days, and it went up 530% in 260 days. You have to look at that thing there. And then right now in 35 days, you went down 76%. Now look at a market cycle and say this to me, that this doesn't happen in different assets in different market cycle. If you understand the market cycle of any asset, you will agree me with this. Then look at next 30 to 40 days and see if the price fluctuation is showing you that momentum. If it is rounding, turning back to the upside in next 40 days and reaching another percentage fluctuation like this, you have to watch out. Another 530% from this means huge, because last time we started from 0.11, this time it's around 0.167. So the highs should be higher than what you expect right now. So those who are still in doubt, those who don't know what's happening, those who want to know what's happening, can actually look into these factors and how they are evolving, and then look at the price action on a shorter time frame, say 4 hour or 1 hour, based on how you understand the chart. I'll say 4 hour should be the limited for short-term chart, which give you that information, because here the RSI is supporting what I'm saying, and if we break to the upside as we expected, it should go towards that 40-50%, 35 to 40%. So guys, in this difficult times, I hope you received the value and motivation which you need with facts and opinion from my end. If you did receive value, please do hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to support the channel, you can look at the Patreon, PayPal or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now, if you would like to get these kind of updates for different assets, you can look at the Patreon link given in the description. But always understand, jump into that Patreon by the early days of a month. Say first towards 5 or 10, it's okay. Otherwise, you have to pay 2 times. One in this month, say today you're entering 31st, then tomorrow again the payment date comes. So it's not cool for you. Okay guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.